That one hurt the most.
NOVOCAINE is a brand new film from Dan Burke and Robert Olson starring Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, Ray Nicholson, and Jacob Batalon. And with this movie bringing back that style of the kind of high-energy, mid-budget action comedies that we used to get so often in the 90s and the 2000s, I was walking into this film just hoping to have a good time. And I've now seen it, and there's a lot to talk about. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. This will be my spoiler-free review of NOVOCAINE. Be sure to drop all your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this movie, and let's dive in. So the synopsis reads, Nathan Kane has a rare condition where he can't feel pain. When a bank robbery spirals out of control, he's thrown into a chaotic chase to save his girlfriend, all while using his condition to his advantage. And right away, literally like the first 10 minutes of this film, the premise alone had me hooked. It's just a really good idea, and as you get deeper into this film, at least as I got deeper into this film, I really realized that they somehow managed to capture the perfect mix of absurdity and action, and the whole he can't feel pain thing. It just makes for all of these memorable moments within this film that were so funny, I'm not going to forget. It actually is making me want to watch the movie again. The humor is top-notch. I'm going to talk about the script here in a second, but the jokes really landed, as well as the action. The action was really brutal. This is a really gory movie. There are certain things that happen that you're just like, oh my god! But what surprised me the most is, again, going into this film, I was expecting some sort of like mid-budget, high-energy type thing, but it is the 90s and the 2000s feel that I got, and I'm not saying that the movie has an overall tone of that time period. I'm just saying it reminded me of growing up and going to the movie theater on a whim to a movie that you knew nothing about and just being blown away, being at least pleasantly surprised, I should say. It reminds me of movies like Rush Hour. It's, it's much more brutal and crazy than Rush Hour, but maybe even like a movie like Point Break. It just felt like in my childhood, whether it be going to Blockbuster or going to the movie theater, something like this was coming out all the time, and it was always good. The quality was always top-notch. It always delivered, and I was just so happy to be at the movie theater watching something like this, not having to watch something with a big budget and kind of having to base my critiques on the dollar amount that it was made, because when a movie's made for such a high price, you can't help but find yourself being a little bit more critical, because you're like, okay, you guys had how much money to do this? It's nice to go to a movie, you compare it to this, where you're not even thinking about that. You're not thinking about that whatsoever. And the script is a huge part of why this thing works so well. Again, the jokes land, but they're witty, they're sharp, and the pacing never really slows down, and so you don't have much time to think about what was just said. And it leans all the way into the absurdity of the premise. You got booby traps, you have insane fight sequences, and just some of the most creative action beats I've seen in quite a while. As for the cast, I just feel like this movie cemented Jack Quaid as an absolute star. He's been on the come up. Obviously, we all know him from The Boys. Any Scream fans out there know him from Scream now. He's been a prominent figure in the industry over the past maybe half decade or so, and obviously with his dad, there's a conversation around family as well as just acting. But to see somebody like Jack step up and embody a role that really is his own and kind of proving that he can be a leading man, I just found it really impressive. He carried the entire film, and he carried it well. I also wanted to talk about Amber Midthunder a little bit because it was good to see her in this movie. I know she had been in other roles, but it was really Prey where she kind of got on the map for me, and then Princess Yue. I'm an Avatar The Last Airbender guy, seeing her as Princess Yue in the live-action adaptation of ATLA on Netflix. I think she's a great actress, and pairing her and Jack Quaid together, they had a lot of chemistry. But then there was a couple others in this film. I do want to call out Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son. He was in Smile 2 for like a brief moment. He was like the boyfriend in Smile 2, and I was really, really impressed by this guy's acting chops. He played this villain, but he was a goofy villain, and he held it down. Like, I really want to see Ray Nicholson in more projects because he just has something about him. So that was good news. The last would just have to be Jacob Batalon. I am so happy to see him outside of the Spider-Man franchise and finding success. I think he was in that Tarot movie last year, the horror movie, but this was a better one for him. He's the comic relief, even though this whole movie is funny, but he comes in and he provides comedy comedy in a very crucial point. There's a lot happening in this film, and he just finds a way to really like brighten up the screen. He takes what's written in the script, and I think the dialogue was funny in itself, but he enhances it, and that's what a good actor does. So it was great to see him back, great to see him in this movie, and it was a really fun cast of all these young up-and-comers in the industry right now, and I was happy to see them all get their own little movie that's in theaters, you know what I mean? But as for the story in and of itself, you know, I can't say much without spoiling it. All I'll say is it's pretty straightforward when you look at that synopsis as to what's happening in it, but there is a really, really good twist in there. And I think even if they would have just played it straight and not done that, I probably still would have liked the movie, but the twist was everything right in the middle of it, and it did a good job at explaining things and making you feel something. There's some romance within this movie. If you've been keeping up with films, I wouldn't say it's quite as romantic as something like Heart Eyes, you know? You're not gonna see as much of that, but it is there, and it's just a really charming movie. I highly suggest you get out to the movie theaters and see it because, like I said at the beginning of this video, we used to get a lot of these mid-budget awesome movies, and they've kind of gone away because studios are not willing to hedge their bets when it comes to these projects. They just want to make these big budget things that are for sure going to make them money. But we are living in a time where I think studios are starting to question the route that they've taken over the past decade and a half, or even 20 years, 30 years. And I think things are starting to come back around. This movie is evidence of that. But again, people need to get out and see it. So go see NOVOCAINE if you haven't already. If you have seen it, let me know all your thoughts on this movie. I absolutely loved it. Maybe you didn't, or maybe you did. Feel free to leave a paragraph down below. I don't really care. Also, my friends, I do want to give my star rating. As for NOVOCAINE, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars, and I don't have a doubt about that. But make sure you hit the freaking like button if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make videos all the time, and I would love to have you be a part of this journey that I'm on here on YouTube. But more than anything, my friends, keep up the good vibes. Am I right? Take it easy.